Hey everyone, this is me Vishnu along with me Santosh. If you haven't watched our previous videos about how Santosh got in from mechanical engineering background into data analytics, please watch our previous videos. The links are in description. So thank you, Santosh. Like we discussed in our last video, actually, guys, in our last video, if you haven't watched, this is the short recap, but I would really recommend you to watch the previous one. It's about one of the early or the first mistake that Santosh did, which was in his starting point of his career. But from then, he have learned, grown into this field, and right now, I would say he's a pro in the analytics that he is doing. So I just want to understand about the one biggest project or one amazing project that he worked with or he worked on, which helped him to grow his not just knowledge but also his portfolio. So thank you, Santosh, for joining. How are you?
Hey Vishnu, I'm doing good, man. Well, hope you're doing good. So, fun fact: some people from my company actually reached out to me about this video that was recently that we posted, and they asked me how it was and all this. So, I think first, thank you for asking those great set of questions, man.
Okay, awesome. So let's start with your project because before I want to jump into this, your great achievement or the one project that made you feel amazing. Was it a personal project or was it something that you did for your work?
It's something that I did for the work. It was actually my final year project that I did for my previous company, my first company.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool. So since this is work-related project, I'm not sure if you can go into specific details, but can you tell us about one line of what it was? What is something that you did?
So it's basically it was for an ad tech company, and
Mhm.
what we did was because of COVID, they saw a surge in footfall in one of their stores, and they wanted to monetize that footfall into a revenue. So that is the one-liner, and how we did it and how I designed the project is basically what landed me to Amazon and all other companies that I applied to.
Okay, so just to give more details for our audience, since they are new into this field, can you explain a little bit more about the footfall? Because we are talking mainly about the FMCG industry or the retail industry. So yeah, these terms could be new for our audience. So what is footfall in simple words?
So, footfall is nothing but let's say you have a kirana store or let's say you have an local store right in your area. If you spend an hour or if you spend a day and calculate how many people are coming to the store, that is nothing but your footfall.
Hmm.
So that is basically what we term as footfall. And in this term,
Mhm.
COVID, what happened was people, even though because of e-commerce sites being down, a lot of other, food delivery agents, they could not move out from, this happened in US, and they were not able to deliver things. People have to drive to the stores, and that increased the footfall for those stores.
Oh, that's actually counterintuitive because I thought that the analytics that you performed was mainly to focus on the reason behind the footfall, even though it was obvious because COVID, in the previous company that I worked with, since it was also based in FMCG, we actually saw a decline in footfall in the stores. So you're saying that COVID actually increased footfall.
So it depends on which country you're in, right? Because
Mhm.
in a country like US, right, this store, this joint that we are talking about, right, they are located within and the 90% of the US population. So in US, how the situation was, people were scared to collect things from delivery people. They were scared to, they might not know what is happening to the delivery person. Maybe he or she is sick. So it's easy for them to drive to the store. Reason being, obviously, US is very big, and being a this store is a very superstore in what they call, and superstore is like 10, 12 times the demands that we see around India. So it's safer than ordering online. It's safer to go to a store and collecting the product.
Okay, so okay, that makes sense. So just one more note for our audience. So this is the important part of data analytics because when someone says that the footfall analysis during COVID, it's just our intuition just says, okay, the footfall is going to be down. But until and unless you get into the data and analyze the data for that particular region or that particular country, you wouldn't know the real truth. And it's that is simply why it is really important to analyze the data without any prior biases. So yeah, thank you for explaining that. What was the most difficult part in that particular project for you? So
One of the very difficult part was the question. Okay, the question was very simple. See, we are getting footfall. We want to increase the revenue. This is kind of like a brick and mortar superstore, and this particular team that came to us was the tech team. So you can't. You should think from my perspective. Okay, ads and brick and mortar store. And it's not just like you can just place an ad and say, hey, we placed an ad and it's performing good. You have to test it. You have to do a lift analysis. You have to even understand the scope of, the revenue that you can get from this. So my major problem was associating ads to a retail brick and mortar store, and how I can perform analysis post setting up the ad is the biggest roadblock I face.
okay, that is a bit covered. Since the question is, for me at least, the question is a little bit vague. It's just simply saying, "Hey, I have this footfall. How can I increase the revenue?" It's not something. I mean, it's simple. It's easy to ask, but I don't think it's easy to get the answer for such questions. So, what was your approach when you heard this question?
So, obviously, my approach is a standard book approach, right? We try to understand about the store first. We understood who the client was. We understood which team was reaching out. We asked the team to take a physical, to take us virtually around the store so that we can see the store. We couldn't go to US majorly because of COVID, or else they would have just funded us for a trip to US also. We asked them for a visual map of the store. We try to understand the store. We try to understand what kind of population it is, like who's coming into the store, which race, which region, all which age group, customer brackets, etc., right? So the first set of work that I did was basically, you will know it's an EDA process, where you understand about the problem, you understand who's coming to you asking the problem, you try to look around nook and corner, trying to make sure that you have the every picture of what you're getting into, and then solving comes second. First understanding is the first part.
Awesome. Okay. Just to simplify for our audience, this project that you solved, why would you say this is the best one that you ever worked with? What made you say that?
Because it had the nuance of every analytic piece of touch, I would say, starting from a very basic question, right? People might think in analytics, the question will be so directed, it will be so broken down by the customers or the client, but it's not like that. It's just a vague question that starts from, hey, we are saying high footfall. We are an ad tech company in a retail store. Can you increase footfall? That is the first question itself. That adds very much impact to how we solved it, right? So starting from there, then obviously we did EDA, we went to different stakeholder connections, we understood what is the problem statement, and we solved that problem statement using multiple tools, starting from, as I said, stakeholder management to technology development, and then pre-post analysis, and then finally building a dashboard. So it touched every nook and corner of an analytics, stream that you can say. That's why it's a very important project to me.
Okay, and you just used this one project to fix around, and finally, eventually, you ended up in Amazon, right?
That's true. That's the way to go. Actually, you should be confident on one project, and you should sell that project.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you achieve something, why not flex it? Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I'll flex it even for the next 5 years. That's a really good project.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you will come up with one more best project in Amazon by then. So yeah. That's better. So you're talking about tools that you were using. And instead of going into the specifics of tools, because I'm not sure if our audience might understand that part, but what was the entire pipeline of the project? So how did it work?
The entire pipeline, the scoping and everything was basically obviously through big data. We had a Hadoop system there, and we used a Hive query language, which is called an HQL, similar to SQL. It's just very slow like a grandpa. And that's what we used, Hive for all the data processing and stuff, and a little bit of Python, and for A/B testing and all this stuff, we used a little bit of Python. And finally, we decided to build 3 dashboards, one health KPI metric dashboard, and one finance dashboard, and one executive summary dashboard. So yeah, these are the tool sets that we did, and dashboards were built upon Tableau that time.
Okay. And before you started working on this project, were you an expert in Hadoop or HQL or Python or whatever the tools that you use?
I would not say expert and all because I would say I'm a 7 out of 10 for SQL. And similarly, whatever you know on SQL, you can compare it. You can use the same on HQL and you can use the same on GCP. So not an expert, man. Even till now, I'm not an expert. I would say an intermediate.
Okay, you're comfortable in the tools.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable.
And this wasn't your first Hadoop experience, right? You had previous project with Hadoop.
Yeah, I had like 2 months of hands-on on Hadoop. This was my third month in Hadoop.
That's impressive. So, okay, once again, to answer a big question to our audience about if a guy is coming from a non-tech background into tech background, a guy who just got like 2 months hands-on experience in Hadoop or any other big data technology, you think it is possible to work or learn and develop such an incredible dashboard for a professional client with such a limited time? Is it?
100% yes. That's what I'm still teaching and preaching. 100% anyone can do.
Okay. And were you teaching yourself, or did you have any specific team or learning development team in your company which helped you? Or was it just you online surfing around, or of course, asking mentors and asking people around? Or was there any clear learning path which was provided to you by the company?
No, the only thing is a deadline will be set. See, it's a flight or fight situation every time in my company, right? I got this project. I got to know about this project in like T minus 7 days, right? So in 7 days, I will be having an introductory call with the client who's somewhat experienced in the business side, but also experienced in the tech side. And me, I am someone who's experienced on the tech side as in like an SQL, not an HQL part. So still, I got a 7 day grace period to just understand HQL, go through it, understand ABCs of HQL, understand some of the theory part of it, and get your hands dirty. Try to query some tables. And that's how I learned. It took me 7, 8 days to learn how to comfortably use it. Not learn it in detail, but just enough so that I can make it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just good enough to be an imposter in the group of intellectuals. But yeah, that's highly appreciable because learning something in 7 days is not. It's not easy. I can totally get it.
Yeah.
This learning part that you developed, just you technically didn't develop. You just accidentally found your own learning path. Was it well established for you just using the articles online, or was it the hardest part that you ever took?
It's always
technology that you used in that big project.
It's never always about the courses and the online part, if you ask me. Reason being, I'm not that great of a person who can sit in front of a system and just read things. I'm not a reader, to be honest. I just get bored or I'll get sleep set off sometime. So what I to do is I just learned the basics I need. For example, I just Google, okay, how can I query a table from HQL? And it will tell me you have to do select star from schema and then a table name. Then I'll ask my senior for credential and I'll log into the credential and I'll see if any tables I have access to. If I have access to it, then I'll do select star from this table. Now what will happen is this table will keep on running for 1-2 days. Okay, in HQL it's like that. And then it will return an error saying that XYZ error. Then I go and Google it. What is this XYZ error? It says I did not do a limit function because whenever you're doing an HQL on big data, you should always do a limit. Then I learned it from that. Oh, okay. But then I wasted 2 days, but it's good. Now that I will never make that mistake ever again. Now I can't just go through and learning this material. It will never suit me. So I'm someone who gets his hand dirty, work on it as much as I could. And if I fail, I just jump back to it again, doing the right thing. So that's how I learn. Getting my hands dirty is the best way to learn.
For sure, yeah. I mean, not just probably for you, but for anyone, the experience.
Yeah, I think you too, right? You're also not like I believe you are also not an avid reader, I would say. Yeah.
No, of course, no. I'm not a good reader. I just get into it. I've tried different things. Created Android applications, but I never learned how to code properly. I just trying out.
Just to give it off, and I'd be like, see, you wanted this to be done. I'm not going to be a subject matter expertise. I'm not going to be a PhD holder for this. I'll just get your work done. You don't ask me anything else. That's the way to go.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's a good way to go. And when you say that you were flexing this particular project to with other companies when you were interviewing, how exactly did you flex? Because it's not very easy to sneak this topic into the interview. If they ask about it specifically, okay, it's easy. But if they didn't, then you need to sneak this topic in. How did you do it?
So before going into the interview itself, I would have what I call an full questions. Okay. These are questions that I develop myself, that I would ask myself, hey, just going through, can you tell what tech stack do you have? If someone asks me, which is a very common question. What do you know? Do you know SQL? Do you know Tableau? Let's say a manager is asking about, I'll just flex it around and say, yeah, I have used this tool stack such as, SQL, Python, and Tableau, and built a dashboard that generated $1 million in revenue. That is where I direct them to. Then they'll be excess $1 million in revenue. What project is that, man? Then I'll go straight flexing into my project. So I'll make sure whatever question that they're going to ask, I preemptively write it down in my brain and then write the answers in such a way that it directs me to this project. It's like a hyperlink, okay? You go anywhere, you click, it will still direct you to that same folder. That's how I do it.
Okay, yeah, just like the magic show card master. Doesn't matter what card you choose, it's always going to be the one that the
People
master
are
wants.
even leads you to the same thing exactly. That's how I do it. And it has worked wonders for me in like 15, 16 interviews that I gave.
Oh, 15, 16 interviews. So what are the other companies that you probably flexed around or got the offer?
I got few offers. There are a lot of startups also. Apart from Amazon, there was a company called Trell, which I got an offer extended, and then I got something from Tiger Analytics, math company, few from Zepto, and there were a few companies that actually went broke after I got my offers and all. I don't want to mention them. So yeah, these are some of the startups and big tech that I got in. Yeah.
Actually, listening to this, maybe we need to deep dive on that interview part, because it's not easy for the youngsters to get the first call from the company. Probably it starts with sending out your resume to those companies. From then they need to give you a call just based on the resume. Probably they don't even look at your resume more than 30 seconds max. So maybe we need to deep dive on your resume. Probably, yeah. Maybe we'll just take one more episode about your resume. We can just go through step by step why you have something in some section. What is something that you can improve? What is something that you can limit out? Maybe we could do something about that. But anyway, yeah, I think we are running out of time. So, but anyway, thank you for answering these important questions. But we will maybe let's prepare ourselves to display a proper resume, like a template to our audience. Maybe we'll just catch up soon once again. Maybe in a day or two, guys. We will release another video about Santosh's resume or just one sample resume that you could visit, and we'll show you the best parts or the things that you could work on. But anyway, yeah, thank you very much, Santosh. Thank you very much, guys, for watching our video. If you like such content, please like and subscribe, and yeah, have a good day.
Exactly. Bye, guys.